So I went to Sinn's headquarters in Frankfurt. Video on that coming soon. Huge video, subscribe. I got to check out their new releases, including this hot new T50 in gold bronze. So let's get into it. Okay, so what is gold bronze? Essentially, you see it on the bezel. The bezel is made out of gold bronze. Gold bronze is Sinn's proprietary alloy. It's essentially 80.5% of copper, 12.5% of gold, and 7% of tin. So essentially, we're at Sinn looking at tin, which is tin. The material has a really nice sheen and is supposed to be able to maintain it rather well. It will oxidize over time, like all copper alloys, but because of the purity of the alloy that Sinn achieved, it will be very resistant to environmental influences like seawater. So essentially, it will oxidize over time because that just happens, but this oxidation will not be catalyzed by using the watch more. The case and bracelet are fully bead blasted titanium, hence the matte surface texture. The bezel is also bead blasted, but it's gold bronze. Here's the same watch without the gold bronze bezel. It's just fully titanium, but here it's on the silicone strap for a change. You can get this watch on the titanium H-link bracelet as well, which is what I would recommend. Even though I think Sinn's silicone bands are the best in the industry, they are pricey though. The titanium bracelet is nice. It has a simple H-link pattern. It's a common theme in Sinn watches. The clasp, however, leaves a bit to be desired. I think they could improve this. I don't like the mechanism that much, even though it is very safe and it works perfectly as a tool watch, as a diving tool. No one's going to use it as that, but it does. I do think the clasp on the silicone band is far superior. Although it is a bit large, it's quite chunky. The T50 has a diameter of 41 millimeters, a case thickness of 12.3 millimeters, lug width of 20 millimeters, all kind of standard U50-ish specifications. If you're familiar with the U50, this is very much home. The movement used is the Sellita SW300, which is both hacking, hand winding, and has a rated power reserve of between 42 and 50 hours, depends on the mainspring. It's also got a beat rate of 28,800, the regular 4 Hz industry standard. In the hand, it's very light. It's an interesting juxtaposition to have something so robust yet light. I know most people like lighter watches, but I actually really prefer something heavy on the wrist. So titanium is really not the material for me. It is supposedly a superior material in every which way and technically much harder to manufacture, but I like steel. What I do like is the shade of titanium that this offers. Sinn's watch ethos behind these pieces is to actually make a premium feeling tool watch. Robustness is kind of one of their highest priorities, and so they're all about surface treatment, the texture of the watch, how robust it is, how solid it is, the certifications, how it performs underwater 500 meters, for example. And they're not trying to, in these tool watches at least, they're not trying to develop new movements or complications and those sort of things. So things like material selection, tolerances, and machining of the case, bracelet, bezel, dial, that's their forte. Taking a look at the dial, it's highly legible, and what stands out are those sword hands. Initially in press shots, I was not really convinced with the sword hands. I really like the U50, and this is a spin-off of the U50, the T50 titanium. But when I actually saw it in person, I really like the precision of the pointers. This is like a pilot's inspired U50 with all the diving credentials, of course. It makes sense because Sinn started their brand as a pilot's watch brand. Well, initially Helmut Sinn, started the brand by selling pilot watches, Breitling's, other brands, and then from watch dealing, he actually got into watchmaking and the company was formed, and Sinn is now an independent watchmaker, a substantial one in Germany. So this gold bronze version of the watch is priced at 4,140 euros on the titanium bracelet, and it's quite a premium over the regular T50, so the one without the gold bronze bezel. Also titanium bracelet, which is 3,340 euros. So about 800 euros difference just for that cool alloy. If you don't care for the novelty of the gold bronze, then I guess that's what the regular one's there for. Sinn does this sort of mild customization, even the U50 line, so you could get it without the tegament. With the tegament, you could get it blacked out, which is a PVD coating, also with tegament, and now there's the new U50 DS as well. See my video on the U50 here.